Hello and welcome back to another in-depth look at one of the Jo Katas. So in this series we're going to be looking at the 13 Jo Kata, or the Jusan, No Kata. And we're going to break it down into sections. We're also going to include a little bit of partner practice just to try and explain some of the opinions that I have and the reasons behind I do certain movements. So hopefully you would enjoy it. Okay, so let's have a look at the first 4 movements of this kata. So we're going to start in Jo no Kama. So the Jo is just going to be placed in front of my left foot, and I'm going to be holding the Jo about a foot from the top. Okay, from this position here, we're going to bring our rear hip forward, and we're going to lift the Jo up, and we're going to meet the Jo at this position here. This has a couple of reasons for me. One, I feel like I have more control over the weapon. I feel like if I need to, I can parry any attack that comes in. But also, when I'm extending back for the chokeski, because I have hold of the Jo, as I come back, I can feel where my hand is and where the Jo is. I'm not overly a fan on just picking the weapon up and trying to find it without looking down at the hand or anything. As you can quite often see, it sometimes hits the thumb. I don't have a lot of control over it, and I find it takes a bit too long to achieve that ski no kamae position. So for me, I like to engage the rear hip and just bring the weapon up nice and quickly and achieve a two-handed grasp on the Jo with this controlled motion. From here, I'm going to bring my hand back, step off the line of attack, and just do a chokeski, which is your first Jo Suburi movement. So, hey, hey. Okay, so that's the first movement of this kata. From here, we immediately go into a Yokomun Uchi. There's no parry in this movement. As you may recall, if you've seen the 31 Jo movement, you may recall that after the Geishi ski, we come across and we do this parry movement before we move the hands across. In the 13 Jo, there's no movement like that. It's straight in to the Yokomun Uchi strike. So after our chokeski here, we're going to step straight across the line of attack and then perform a Yokomun Uchi strike to here. Each knee. Okay. Nice and simple. Chokeski, Yokomun Uchi. Really, you should know these from your Jo Suburi and probably from other previous katas that you've looked at. What's interesting now is the third movement. Okay, so from our chokeski, we go straight into the Yokomun Uchi. Now, when we do go across for number 3, our parry, quite often I see people and they will parry with the Jo directly in line with their body. And I'm not too sure what the understanding is about this. For me, it only offers me the width of the Jo as protection. So therefore, any attack can come down either side and still encroach into my space. It doesn't offer me any sort of posture related benefits or anything like that. I don't really understand it. If I was to get a partner involved, if the partner was to do a ski thrust and I was to parry like this, I don't see any protection as to what it gives me. And if my partner done a Shoman strike, again, there is very little protection for me with this motion. Plus the fact I can't get rid of my opponents because I'm too in line with them. I can't get rid of my opponent's weapon. What I tend to do is, as I come across, I will have the Jo at an angle to my body. So not perpendicular, not a right angle, but out a little bit more. So you could sort of say maybe 45 degrees out. This then, if a ski attack comes in, gives me the ability to blend with the attack at the safe distance. But equally, if a showman strike comes in, I can blend with the attack, and if the pressure gets too much, use that pressure to propel my weapon round to deliver an attack onto my partner. So again, I'm looking at this from the point of view of I'm harmonizing with my partner. I'm drawing the energy, showman strike, I'm drawing the energy from their attack and I'm using it back against them. So, number 3, definitely like to try and keep the weapon nice and comfortable and at a 45-degree angle. Now remember, it is slightly angled down. Again, you don't want to angle the weapon up because any strike can then come down, follow the weapon down to your fingers. So, from a yokomanuchi strike, we're going to come back across the line of attack and we're going to parry with an incoming ski to here. Again, utilizing this blending motion, this gathering motion, this harmony with our opponent. Back into my posture here. Not too high. I want to pull their energy into me like this. But what's interesting about this movement is my next movement, the 4th movement, is a chokuski. And technically I have a weapon still present in a dangerous area. So we need to deal with that. And this is where we'll bring in a paired partner. Okay, so now using our paired partner, if you are lucky enough to have one, we're going to have a look at some of the reasons as to why we do certain movements. So if you can imagine, I've just finished my yokomanuchi strike, okay, and my partner has evaded that and she's going to come in with a ski up here. So I'm stepping across the line of attack and I'm blending again with this attack. But my next movement is a chokuski. And again, if I was to just come away and do chokuski, I still have this danger. So we have to deal with this. We have to remove it from the situation. So for my yokomanuchi, the ski comes in, I come across the line of attack, and then I bear down onto the weapon, removing it from this line. This is exactly the same. If you have done the 31 paired practice, this is exactly the same as when the ski comes in and you come across and then again remove it from the section. So you can do your geishi ski. This is no different. So from a yokomanuchi, the ski comes in, I parry the attack and I remove it from the area. Now again, removing it is very important. I'm not just bashing it down, and I'm certainly not hooking it in to my area. I'm projecting it away. We achieve this by starting quite low down on the Jo, and then as I apply the pressure, I'm almost flicking the weapon away from me. So there. Now, I've created a line of attack. I can step into that line of attack and do chokuski, which is the 4th movement. So, thank you very much. If we look at that now, in our solo practice, there's no reason why we shouldn't implement that into our solo practice, just so we get used to that movement. So what I like to do, from a yokomanuchi, I come across number 3 and then I immediately go down. It's all part of the same count. Up, down. And then number 4 will then be a chokuski. Okay, so let's just run through those 4 movements together. So it's ich, ni, san, shi. They are the first 4 movements of the No Jo Kata. Have a play with them, practice, and then we'll run over some more techniques in the next video. Thanks very much.